Okay, so get this right. Elon Musk, Dogecoin, and Social Security. Yeah, you heard that right.
Wow.
We're going deep on that today.
Buckle up.
It's a wild one. Yeah, this might actually, affect your future. Maybe more than you think.
Oh, yeah. More intertwines than this soon.
Yeah, so to kind of kick things off, right, let's talk about Elon and, I don't know, his fascination with Dogecoin.
Right.
What is the deal there? Is this just a billionaire's whim, or is there a deeper strategy at play?
Well, Musk's been, publicly flirting with Dogecoin for a while now.
Right.
But this latest move to integrate it into X's payment system, that's a whole new ball game.
Yeah, I mean, X users can now receive salaries in Doge, pay bills, get loans.
Crazy.
That seems, I don't know, like a recipe for chaos.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we all know crypto is volatile, but this is on another level.
Bro, it is. And it's interesting as this surge in Dogecoin's value, I mean, over 300% after Musk's announcement, it points to something deeper than just hype, right? Deeper.
There's this, there's a growing sentiment that meme coins, through these kinds of integrations, can actually gain legitimacy in the mainstream financial world.
Okay, so that means early Doge investors are probably over the moon, right?
Ecstatic.
But what about the average person? Should they be jumping on this this bandwagon?
That's where the caution comes in.
Yeah.
The very nature of these rapid, tight swings, it makes them risky.
Uh-huh.
What goes up can come crashing down just as fast.
And this is where governments are starting to sweat, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not just about protecting individual investors anymore, right?
Not at all. We're talking about a potential shock to national economies. Imagine the ripple effects if Dogecoin, driven by the whims of one individual, were to significantly destabilize global markets. I mean, that's the nightmare scenario.
Wow.
That has governments scrambling for a regulatory solution.
Scrambling, yeah. And those solutions aren't exactly easy to come by, are they?
With crypto being designed to be decentralized, outside the control of those traditional systems.
Exactly. It's a massive headache for regulators.
I bet.
They're grappling with how to balance innovation with the need for stability.
Right.
All while, respecting crypto's core principle of decentralization.
Okay, but how does all of this tie back to Social Security?
Yeah.
Something that seems so far removed from the world of crypto billionaires.
Well, this is where it gets fascinating and a little bit unsettling.
Okay.
You see, the Social Security Administration, like many large pension funds, invests a portion of its funds in traditional markets. When those markets are shaken up by, extreme volatility, like the kind we saw with the Dogecoin surge, it can impact their returns.
So essentially, Elon Musk, playing with Dogecoin, could affect whether or not our grandparents get their retirement checks.
That's a simplification, but the core idea is there. While it's not the sole factor, it highlights the interconnectedness of our financial systems.
Right.
And that's something worth understanding, is as it goes way beyond just, Dogecoin.
Okay, so we've got Elon Musk, we've got Dogecoin, we've got governments panicking, and we've got Social Security potentially hanging in the balance. Where do we even go from here?
Well, one place this leads us is to the rise of decentralized finance, or DeFi. This is where the conversation gets really interesting.
DeFi. That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
Uh-huh.
What exactly are we talking about here?
Imagine a financial system that operates completely outside of banks and traditional institutions. That's the essence of DeFi.
No banks. So how do things loans, transactions, even something as basic as holding your money, how does all that work?
Think of it like a giant global financial network built on blockchain technology.
Okay.
Transactions happen directly between, individuals, powered by something called smart contracts, cutting out the need for intermediaries like banks.
So it's peer-to-peer, but for money. I'm trying to wrap my head around the scale of that.
It's a huge concept, and it's already starting to gain traction. Billions of dollars in transactions are flowing through DeFi platforms every day.
Wow.
And that number is only growing.
Okay. I'm officially intrigued. But before we get too deep into the DeFi rabbit hole. Can we go back to like Dogecoin's wild ride for a moment?
Sure.
I mean, there's got to be more to this story, right?
There is, and it goes beyond the price fluctuations.
Oh.
What's particularly fascinating is the like reaction from different groups within the financial ecosystem.
What do you mean?
Well, you have the, longtime Dogecoin enthusiasts who are obviously thrilled with the price surge.
Right.
Then you have like institutional investors.
Oh, yeah?
Some dipping their toes into the crypto waters for the first time, drawn by the, potential for profit, but also incredibly wary of the risks.
Of course.
And then you have the newcomers, those just discovering crypto.
Okay.
Many of whom are jumping in headfirst without, fully understanding the complexities.
It's like the Wild West out there, but with digital gold rushes instead of actual gold.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. The situation exposes the tension between the old guard of finance and this, emerging decentralized world.
And it feels like we're just at the beginning of this, like, clash of the titans, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This Doge surge is just one chapter in a much larger story, but it's a chapter that's raising some big questions about the future of, like, money itself.
Ooh, now that's something I want to unpack, but I think we need to, like, save that conversation for part 2.
I think that's wise. This is a lot to digest.
It is, but it's also incredibly exciting. I mean, we're talking about a potential, like, paradigm shift in finance, all triggered by, a meme coin.
Stranger things have happened. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take this closer look at how this Dogecoin surge has actually impacted the traditional financial world. That's where we'll pick up in part 2. So picking up where we left off, the aftershocks of this Dogecoin roller coaster are being felt, far and wide, especially in the halls of traditional finance.
You mentioned this like clash between the old guard and the new wave of DeFi.
Right.
What does that actually look like in like practice? Are banks like running scared?
It's less about fear and more about, I guess, forced adaptation.
Okay.
Think of it like this. For centuries, right, banks have been the gatekeepers of finance.
Right.
They controlled the flow of money, set the rules of the game, and, profited handsomely from their central position.
And now suddenly they're facing a challenger that operates on like entirely different principles.
Exactly.
Wow.
Decentralized finance
DeFi, yeah.
is all about cutting out the middleman. Imagine a financial system where you don't need a bank to like hold your savings, process your transactions, or approve your loan.
Right.
That's the promise of DeFi.
Okay, that sounds incredibly empowering, but also a little scary.
Yeah.
How does that actually like work? Can you give me a like real world example?
Sure. Let's say you need a loan.
Okay.
Traditionally, you'd go to a bank, fill out a mountain of paperwork, undergo a credit check, and hope for the best.
Right.
With DeFi, you could connect with lenders directly through a decentralized platform.
Okay.
The terms of the loan are like pre-programmed into a smart contract on the blockchain, ensuring transparency and automatic execution.
So no more waiting like weeks for loan approval or dealing with bank bureaucracy.
Yeah.
That's appealing.
Right.
But also, how do you even know who these lenders are? It sounds, ripe for scams.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it highlights one of the challenges DeFi faces.
Okay.
Because it's still, early days. There are definitely risks involved, but there are also like built-in safeguards,
right,
like reputation systems within DeFi platforms that help, mitigate those risks.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like the early days of the internet,
right,
where everything was, new and a little bit chaotic, but the potential was undeniable.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Right.
And just like the internet revolutionized communication and information sharing.
Right.
DeFi has the potential to do the same for, finance.
Absolutely.
So are banks just going to like sit back and watch this happen, or are they trying to like get in on the action?
They're definitely paying attention.
I bet.
Some are exploring ways to integrate, blockchain technology into their existing systems.
Right.
Others are even investing in like DeFi startups
Right.
hedging their bets, so to speak.
It's like Blockbuster trying to launch its own like streaming service after Netflix already took over the world.
Exactly.
And just like with streaming, the early adopters of DeFi have a huge advantage. They're the ones like shaping the rules of this new game.
Right.
And traditional institutions are playing catch up.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for the average person, who isn't like a crypto whiz or a tech billionaire?
Right.
Should we all be rushing to like open crypto wallets and dive headfirst into this DeFi world?
I wouldn't recommend rushing into anything without first, understanding the landscape.
Okay.
It's a rapidly evolving space, and there are, risks.
Yeah.
Just like with any new technology.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you should, ignore it.
So educate ourselves.
Yeah.
But where do we even begin? It all feels so, complex.
Start by getting a basic understanding of, blockchain technology and how it works.
Okay.
There are tons of great resources available online, everything from, beginner-friendly articles to in-depth courses.
Right.
Then explore some of the, leading DeFi platforms, see what they offer and how people are using them.
Sounds like good advice.
Yeah.
So if DeFi really takes off, what's the best case scenario here?
Right.
And maybe even more importantly, what's the worst case scenario?
Well, the best case scenario is a more inclusive, transparent, and efficient financial system.
Okay.
One where, individuals have more control over their own money.
Right.
And can access financial services without relying on, traditional gatekeepers.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
What about the potential downsides?
The biggest risk, in my opinion, is that DeFi could become a playground for, bad actors, scammers, hackers, those looking to, exploit the system for their own gain.
Right.
Regulation is still very much in its infancy, and that creates vulnerabilities.
And what about the impact on governments? If people are increasingly transacting outside of traditional systems, doesn't that erode their control over the economy?
That's another huge question mark.
Yeah.
It could lead to a power shift.
Okay.
With governments having to, adapt to this new decentralized reality.
Right.
Or it could trigger a backlash with governments, cracking down on DeFi.
Right.
In an attempt to reassert control.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around, for sure.
It is.
But it's also incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, we're witnessing the birth of something potentially revolutionary.
Absolutely.
And it all started with a meme coin.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
This unlikely journey from
Right.
a joke to a catalyst for change reminds us that, innovation can come from the most unexpected places.
Right. So we've covered the rise of DeFi, the potential benefits and risks.
Right.
And the challenges it poses to the traditional financial world.
Right.
But what about the bigger picture?
Yeah.
What does all of this mean for the future of money itself? That's where I think things get really mind-blowing. Okay, so we've explored the wild ride of Dogecoin, the government's scramble to regulate crypto, and the emergence of DeFi as a, I guess, potential challenger to the traditional financial system.
Right.
But now let's zoom out even further, right? You hinted at this earlier.
Yeah.
What does all of this mean for the future of money itself?
It's the question that keeps me up at night,
Really?
to be honest.
Wow.
For centuries, right, we've relied on a system where governments issue currencies,
Right.
banks act as, intermediaries, and we trust these centralized institutions to maintain, actability.
Right.
But with the rise of crypto and DeFi,
Yeah.
that fundamental paradigm is being challenged.
So are we talking about the end of money as we know it?
Oh, wow.
Is cash going to disappear?
I don't know about that.
Will we all be transacting in Dogecoins and Bitcoin?
It's unlikely to be that sudden or dramatic, But what we are seeing is a gradual shift in how we I guess, perceive and interact with money, cryptocurrencies, especially those integrated into platforms like, X, are introducing the idea that money can like exist and function independently of governments and central banks.
So it's not just about like new forms of currency. It's about a whole new way of like thinking about money.
Precisely.
Wow.
In the traditional system, trust is placed in, institutions.
Right.
With crypto and DeFi, trust is placed in the technology itself, the blockchain, and in the, decentralized, transparent nature of the system.
But isn't that incredibly risky? I mean, what happens if something like goes wrong?
Right.
Who'd you call for help if there's no like central authority?
That's the trade-off.
Yeah.
And it's a debate that's like raging right now.
I bet.
Proponents of DeFi argue that this, decentralized structure makes it more resilient,
Okay.
less susceptible to like corruption or manipulation by a single entity.
Makes sense.
Critics point to the, lack of regulation,
Uh-huh.
the potential for scams,
Right.
and the volatility of the crypto market as like major concerns.
So it's a bit of a Wild West out there.
In a sense, yeah.
High risk, high reward.
But it's important to remember that the financial landscape is, constantly evolving.
Right.
What seems like radical today could become commonplace tomorrow.
Yeah.
Think about the early days of the internet.
Right.
It was also seen as, risky and unstable.
Yeah.
But look at how it transformed our lives.
That's a good point.
Right.
So should we all be running out to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, hoping to like get rich quick?
I'd caution against making any, rash decisions based solely on like hype or speculation.
Okay.
The key takeaway here is awareness.
Awareness, right.
Educate yourself about these emerging technologies. Understand the potential, benefits and risks, and then decide how or if you want to participate.
Don't just blindly follow the like Elon Musks of the world. Do your own research.
Exactly.
This isn't just about like investing. It's about understanding a like fundamental shift that's underway.
It is.
The future of money is being written right now, and it's a story that will have a profound impact on all of us.
It will.
Wow. So if we like zoom out even further, what's the ultimate takeaway for our listeners? What's the one thing they should be thinking about after listening to this deep dive?
The one thing I'd leave you with is this. The relationship between technology, money, and power is undergoing a like profound transformation.
Okay.
And that transformation will, touch every aspect of our lives, from how we earn and spend money to how we interact with, governments and institutions.
So stay informed, stay engaged, and maybe keep a little bit of Dogecoin handy, just in case.
You never know. It might just be the currency of the future.
This has been an incredible journey.
It has.
Thanks for taking us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
And thanks to you, our listeners, for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back next time to explore another fascinating topic.
Sounds good.
Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.